Hello, this is Miss McCauley, and this is part 2 of how to simplify expressions. Again, Mrs. Bino, a former teacher of Viking, will guide you through this. Hopefully you did get the last question correct on part 1 about coefficients and realize that those are the numbers in front of the variables, and you must include the negative signs. So the answer to that question in part 1 should have been -5.
We're going to try one more together. 3x plus 2 minus 10 minus 3x. Once again, let's start by listing our terms. We've got 3x, 2, -10, and -3x. Okay, a total of 4 terms. Now let's take a look at our like terms. I'm going to start with my x's. I see 3x and I see -3x, so I can list those as like terms. Are there any more? Yes, there are. Hopefully you can see that 2 and -10 are also like terms. So let's list those below. 2 and -10. Okay? Next is our coefficients. Remember, coefficients are numbers attached to the variable. So in this case, our coefficients are 3 for 3x and -3 for -3x. Okay? Our constants, remember, are any numbers that do not have variables attached. So these numbers would be 2 and -10. Now that we've identified the parts of an expression, it's time to start really talking about how to simplify these expressions to make them easier for us to solve. We're first going to learn to simplify expressions with algebra blocks, and then we'll move on to simplifying without the algebra blocks, since you can't really walk around the rest of your life with a bag of algebra blocks, but it's definitely a good start to help you understand the process. Okay? The first step when you're simplifying with algebra blocks is to model the expression with algebra blocks. Okay, the next thing that we're going to be doing after we model the expression with algebra blocks is combining like blocks, or in other words, like terms. And then our third and final step is to write the simplified expression. Okay, so those are our steps with simplifying with algebra blocks. Alright, so our first expression we're going to model is 4x plus x. You will need a bag of algebra blocks and an algebra blocks mat with a plus sign and negative sign on it. So if you don't have those, please pause the video and get them from your teacher. So remember, our first step is to model our expression, 4x plus x, with the algebra blocks. Okay, so you should make sure you have this mat. Okay, and I apologize, it's a little dark. Make sure you have this mat in front of you. Before we start, let's just really quickly review the different kinds of blocks we have. So remember, we first learned about this green block. Remember, that represents 1. So whenever we're representing regular numbers, we're going to use that green block. Okay? Remember that this this yellow stick actually represents x. Okay? And then the orange stick represents y. So those are our two variables. If we needed to represent 2x, we will put down 2 yellow blocks. Okay, if we needed to represent 3x, we will put down 3 yellow blocks. And then remember also that our yellow square represents x squared, or x to the second power, and our orange square represents y squared, or y to the second power. Okay? So those are the basics of the algebra blocks. Now let's see what we need to model our first expression. Let's flip this back over. Okay, pull this down one bit. Okay, and you'll also see on your algebra blocks basic math that you have a positive side and a negative side. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're also noting the sign of the variable you're representing. If it has a subtraction sign in front of it or a negative sign, you want to make sure you're putting it on the negative side, or if it's a positive or with addition, you need to put it on the positive side. Okay, so let's just quickly go back. Remember, our expression is 4x plus x. So I'm going to start by modeling positive 4x. I'm going to model positive 4x by putting, that's right, 4x blocks on the positive side of the mat. Okay, that represents my 4x. Next, I'm going to take one more x to represent that 4x plus x, one single x. Remember, one x by itself means 1x. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and take a picture of this. So you should be doing this on your own mat and take your own picture. And we're going to drop that into GoodNotes. Okay. Here we go. So we've got our beginning expression now. This is what it looks like, 4x plus x, before we simplify it. Now our next step is to combine like terms and take another picture. So that means I'm going to combine any blocks that are the same. This one's pretty easy. I can see that all my blocks are the same, so I'm simply going to combine my x with my other 4x's. Here's my expression now simplified. Once again, take a picture. And we're going to drop it into GoodNotes. Oop. Sorry about that. Resize. And there's our picture. Okay, now our third step here is to write the simplified expression with numbers. So I'm going to take a look here and see that I only have positive values represented, and what I'm showing on that block is 5x. So I can say that 4x plus x, my original expression simplified, is 5x. Okay? Alright, let's try another one. This one's going to be a little trickier. We've got different variables in here to represent 2y plus 3x plus 2y plus x squared. Okay, let's go to our mat. Alright, so once again we're starting with 2y. Remember, y is represented with the orange sticks. Okay, we need 2 of those on the positive side to represent 2y. Alright, then we're going to represent positive 3x. 1, 2, 3. Then we've got another positive 2y. So I'm going to put 2 more y's on my positive side. Okay. And the last thing we have is x squared, which, remember, x squared is represented with the yellow square. And again, that's also positive. Ooh, we're in a positive party over here. Okay, go ahead and take your picture. All right. Now, remember, our next step is to combine like blocks. Okay. So, oops. We go over here. Let's see what we can combine. Well, we can combine all our x's together, right? We can definitely combine all our y's together, and everything's positive, so don't have to worry about 0 pairs. Now the question here is this x block the same as the x squared? They don't look like the same block to me. That's because they're not the same block, okay? X squared cannot be combined with regular x's. They're different, okay? It's a common mistake. Make sure you're not combining x's and x squares. So this is our expression simplified. So again, let's take our picture and drop that into GoodNotes. Okay, remember our last step is to write the simplified expression with numbers. So, we're going to start with our x squared plus 3x plus, we've got 4y showing. Okay, so our simplified expression is x squared plus 3x plus 4y. Now, one important thing to note here is we do not combine x's with y's when we're adding or subtracting them together. Okay?
Please use your algebra blocks to simplify the following expression so we can see if you really understand what's happening. The expression is x plus 5x plus y plus 7. Please choose the correct answer, show it to your teacher, or answer it in the note check. Bye for now. We'll see you in part 3.